I'm fascinated by Roman Polanski and what he's been through in his life, what was done to him and what he's done to others. You learn about the soul by just telling a story like this, you know. Unfortunately, not everyone wanted to tell me everything, you know, so you work with what you have.
It was so traumatic starting that night when my mom called the police, and the police come over and they take you to the hospital, then they take you to the police station. And next morning we're getting up at 6:30, we're going to court where they're going to sneak you in and all these men are going to ask you exactly what happened.
There was an article in the Los Angeles Times that talked about if Polanski was to be nominated for Best Director for The Pianist, would he be able to come back? And that was when I kind of thought, oh, this could be interesting. The girl and her lawyer went on the Larry King show, and it was what her lawyer said that got me started. Her lawyer said, the day Roman Polanski fled was a sad day for the American judicial system. And that just didn't make sense.
I don't remember any judge that liked publicity like Rittenman did. He had his bailiff maintain a scrapbook that went back many years, and if an article appeared anywhere about something involving Lawrence J. Rittenman, it wound up in the scrapbook.
I really wanted to be as fair as possible and not to put any of my own opinion or judgment on the case. I thought it could just be by itself and let the people decide. And I think we came up with the best thing. It's this section called He Said, She Said. Yeah. Where they each tell their side of the story. And everyone knows there are two sides to stories.
It was awful. Everybody knew at school. And people came to school with cameras and things were being said and printed. The worst part was no one believed me. Everybody thought I was making it up.
It was difficult to get to a lot of people. I was extremely lucky in the sense that I knew someone who was a Mormon, and the DA in the case was the pastor at his church.
There was just this real dark shadow that he had to deal with every day. That, you know, there were people who were constantly, so what was it like, you know, when your wife was killed?
Do you hate certain members of the press for the way you were treated after your wife's murder?
He's what they call in England a one-off, a fascinating character who's been through so much in his life, but yet continues to have an incredibly sunny disposition, outlook on life.
I wouldn't call it a hatred now. You see, somehow evolved to just indifference, and I simply don't read it and try to avoid it.
Polanski is very expressive. I think, he's an actor. He's expressive in his face, in his eyes, and because I didn't have an interview with him, I needed to use as many photographs, as many clips from his movies to kind of show him what I needed him to answer somehow. I needed him to tell his part of the story.
In general, I despise the press tremendously for its inaccuracy, for its irresponsibility, for its often even deliberate cruelty. And all this, it's for lucrative purposes.
Well, there aren't a lot of people like Roman Polanski. If only I could be so lucky to find someone like that for my next film.